you find yourself freezing when it's time to put yourself out there, ask for what you need, or even just be vulnerable? If that's you, I've got 3 tips to help you walk through the invisible barrier and feel empowered while you're doing it. So, in case we haven't met before, my name is Christina. I am a women's empowerment coach, and I help women find their words, feel heard, and step into their power. Before we get started, something that I just love to do, because these videos can reach anybody in the world, where are you tuning in from? I know we can have people in Chile, Germany, Australia, all the things, so I'm just curious. So, what keeps us from wanting to step out vulnerably? And maybe it's something that we know we need to do, or we've already decided that something is important to us, and yet at the same time, we struggle. It's vulnerable. It signals to our brain that maybe some kind of danger is coming, and our brain is like, oh, I don't think so. No, thank you. What keeps us? What keeps us from stepping out vulnerably? Well, it's the human condition that we feel like we need to be liked. We need to be liked because back in the animal kingdom, with humans being pack animals, just like lions and wolves and things like that, there's that saying, the lone wolf dies, but the pack survives. So somewhere way deeply encoded in our DNA, we know that if we're not liked, if we're cast out from the group, bad things might happen to us. Now, that's centuries, eons old, thousands of years old. We're not there anymore. That comes out in our life as us feeling bad when there's not a seat at the table to join our friends. That was me. Or, somebody who said they were going to reach out to you and you thought it was a good connection and then they don't reach out to you. There it is again. We also have, so that really points to our fear of rejection, being cast out and those things. We also have a little bit of a fear or a sensitivity around being criticized or ridiculed. And I actually want to take that one step further. What happens a lot of times is that maybe we won't even be criticized or ridiculed, but we will feel criticized. And usually it's us and our own worst critic, but that's a whole separate topic, right? And another reason that can keep us from stepping out and being vulnerable is maybe we've been burned in the past. And our subconscious doesn't want that to happen again. We're like, no, I see you. I see you the last time I did that and I asked for help. Or the last time I said what I wanted, I was burned. And we don't want to do that again. Our subconscious is amazing. It really, really is. And yet at the same time, sometimes it can take control or it can do too much protecting. And we can't do the thing that we're trying to do when we step out vulnerably, right? So I gave some examples already, but I want to give a couple more examples. How does this come up in our life? Because there's some examples that are super, super obvious, but then there's other examples that maybe you didn't quite see it as that's where that's coming from. So let me shed some light on that. Not wanting to say what you're really in the mood for, to do or to eat in social settings. This comes out as, I don't know, what do you want to do? I don't know, I'm fine with whatever. You decide. It's okay. The other thing, I wrote a story about this. somebody asks you, okay, we know we're going to get together with a friend for lunch. And the friend says, great, what are you in the mood for? And you know you really want pizza, my favorite food. But you look at the friend you're hanging out with and you see how much weight they've lost. And you're like, I'm just in the mood for a salad because you want to belong, right? So then there's also just, so if that's you, by the way, if that's you and you find yourself like you're being asked, what do you want to do, but you don't want to come out there authentically with what you really want to do in social settings, drop a number one down below. I'm going to take, this is my informal poll to see how these different examples match up with people. So that's number one. Number two, general indecisiveness or general like not wanting to say, okay, this is what we're doing, or I'm committed, like decisions, indecisiveness with making commitments because maybe you don't want to say no, but you kind of know that you need to say no, your schedule's busy, or things like that. Indecisiveness and not committing to something, whether in social situations, in business, at your job, that's another way that we don't really want to step out in our life and be vulnerable because we're just like, oh, I don't know, I don't want them to think less of me. So if you have an issue with indecisiveness or with committing, drop a number two down below. Like I said, this is my informal poll. There's also things like if you are in a career with sales or you're doing presentations, you might be able to have conversations with people about general things, the weather, how your son is doing, your family, all the things, but then asking for the sale or the registration is a whole different level, and that kind of trips you up and you're like, oh, I don't know. I don't know if I can do that. Like I said, you're able to have these conversations, but not crossing the invisible threshold into asking for the sale. Are you hesitant to do that? If that's you, drop a number three. And then number four, bringing up feedback or suggestions to a friend, even if they ask for it. It's a little bit vulnerable when we do that. Even when somebody asks us for our opinion, what if we give our opinion and that makes them think less of us? Or worse yet, what if they say no? Or what if they don't accept what we have to say? It's vulnerable. It is. It's very vulnerable. So if that's you and you have a little bit of hesitation and trouble bringing up feedback or a suggestion to a friend, maybe they asked for it, maybe they didn't, drop a number four. I'm curious. Now, if you can relate to any of these, one, two, three, or four, I've got something for you. I have a guide that I put together. It's called 5 Powerful Affirmations to Empower Your Voice. And these affirmations will help you rewire your brain and empower you as you move forward. I've been working with affirmations since mostly about 2019. And there is something about telling ourselves and reassuring ourselves, our conscious, subconscious, our nervous system, you can do this. You're worth it. All the things. So again, number one was if you maybe don't want to say what you're in the mood to do or what you're in the mood to eat when you're in a social situation. You know you're getting together with friends. You know that you're going to go to lunch. And then your friend says, what do you want to do? What are you in the mood for? And you're like, I don't know. But also at the same time, maybe you do kind of know. Maybe you do kind of know, and they're asking you for your honest feedback. And you have a hard time speaking up for yourself and giving that input. If that's you, drop a number 1 down below. And then again, indecisiveness, afraid of making the wrong decision for whatever reason. That's a number 2 down below. If you're in sales or you're doing presentations, you find that you're perfectly fine having a conversation about things and talking to people, but when it comes to asking for the sale, maybe there's some hesitation there. That's number 3. And then bringing up feedback or suggestion to a friend, even if they ask for it and you struggle with that. They're like, oh, giving an opinion or things like that. That's a number 4. So I see Chivi in the comments. She's saying 2 and 3. Yeah, for me, oof, asking for the sale for sure was definitely a big thing for me. So again, if you can relate to any of these, I have a free gift for you. It's my 5 powerful affirmations to empower your voice. For Facebook and YouTube, the link is down in the comments. For Instagram, it's going to be christina-solis.com/affirm. And I'll put that in the comments once the video is done. Now, 3 things to keep in mind to help you get through this invisible barrier, this invisible threshold. Okay, these are my top 3 tips. Get clear on what the worst possible outcome could be. The worst possible outcome could be. And what you would do if that happened. Let's say you did say that you felt like eating, you wanted to go out for pizza. And they looked at you and were like, oh, really? Well, none of us want to do that. What would you say? How would you respond? And what I know to be true is that when you feel prepared, when you've kind of pre-thought about this a little bit, it's a huge game changer. You start to take your power back. Sometimes what we think we're most scared of, it's actually mostly because we haven't named the fear or we haven't taken a couple of steps closer to approach the fear, right? So that's number 1. Number 2, let yourself imagine what it would be to have the best possible outcome. Let yourself dream. Let yourself walk that through and really feel that feeling. Let's say you're asking for the sale. How would it feel if they said, you know what, I've actually been looking for something like that. I'm so glad we bumped into each other today. That's exactly what I need. Or if that seems like a stretch, what would happen? What would happen if they said, you know what, I don't need that, but I know someone who does. I don't need your services, but I know the exact perfect person for you. And really sit in that feeling. And it signals to your nervous system something good can come. Something good might come. And it helps empower you to push just a little further to reach and be like, okay, I want to go for it. As opposed to, what if I'm hurt? What if something happens? It's a little different, right? And then number 3, third tip for this. What is the smallest step forward that you need to make in this situation? Challenge yourself to make that step super, 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 super small. For me, it's actually, I'm going to be vulnerable because I'm talking about vulnerability, right? Sitting down and recording these videos, when I think about the entire thing, when I'm sitting down and I'm thinking about doing a live video like this. It's a lot. It's big. It's a huge ask that not only is there an invisible barrier in front of me when I'm sitting down, I'm thinking of sitting down to record these videos, I'm also thinking that there's cliffs. And there's one cliff over here on this side, and there's another cliff over here on this side. That's a huge jump. It's huge. It's huge. What's the smallest step that you can take? Picture an invisible staircase that maybe you can't see the entire staircase, but as you lift your foot up and start with one action and you put your foot down, you'll see the staircase that you couldn't see, it's actually there. So again, challenge yourself. What is the tiniest step you can take? And so for me, when I'm looking at, so the smallest step for me is not sit down in front of my computer and deliver a perfectly polished video. That's not it. That's not it. The smallest step for me is choose a topic. Choose a topic. And even smaller than that, previously, I've brainstormed all kinds of different topics that are related to the people that I want to help. So when I'm even looking to choose a topic, I'm like, oh, I already have a list of 5 to 10. Pick a topic. Now that's what that looks like for me. For you, it could just be like pulling up your friend's phone number on your phone. And just don't even call them, don't even text them, whatever it is you need to do, just pull up their number. Or if you're a little bit past that, text them and say, when do you have a moment? Or can I ask you a question? Tiny, tiny, tiny steps. All right, those are my top 3. So again, get clear on your worst possible outcome so that it's not a surprise waiting to happen. You've already kind of looked into it. Number 2, let yourself imagine and feel what it might feel like if you actually got what you needed or got what you were asking for. And then number 3, what is the smallest, tiniest step that puts you on the path to move forward with what you're trying to do, what you're trying to be vulnerable about, right? So again, I have a free resource for you. And this resource comes from years and years and years of trial and error and me coming up with affirmations that have helped me go from timid and hesitant to self-assured and confident. So it's it's called 5 Powerful Affirmations to Empower Your Voice. Again, the link is down in the comments for Facebook and YouTube. On Instagram, it will be, but again, it's christina-solis.com/affirm. All right. I hope those help you. I just love empowering women because I know what it was like when I couldn't speak up for myself. And it's such a relief now that I've stepped into my power, and I want you to do it, and I want you to do it much faster than I did. All right? Talk to you soon.